This is Andy from QualityStocks. Today's Tuesday, June 22nd, 2010, and we got a request to take a look at HELI Electronics, NASDAQ bulletin board stock trading under the ticker HELI. Now you can see this was not much of a trader before yesterday, 75 million shares. I believe this got some news that's generating revenues now, so I would anticipate that we might see some possible trading with this on a little bit more of a regular basis. The daily charts, it's not much to get from it because of it just starting trading. You can see drastically oversold when it made this drop from $11 down to 10 cents. But it did hold a nice support level at 10 cents, and it set up a resistance level at 20 cents. Don't want to cover them completely up on you, but you can see it held a nice resistance level or nice support and resistance levels, pretty defined. Not going to get much out of these, you know, a huge pinch from being oversold, big spike yesterday from the influx of buying. Important thing to remember about this chart at this point is that there was a resistance level at 20 cents. So what I do from here is I'll zoom in. This is actually just a 2-day 15-minute chart, and we'll take a look at a couple different things. Same indicators, all I did was modify it so we can zone in a little bit more on what's going on with the trading yesterday. Of course, it came right out of the gates. It started getting some trading late in the day. See, 3 o'clock on Friday, it started seeing some buying, and then of course it shot right out of the gates first thing yesterday. Made a nice move, and then kind of a little bit of a flag pattern that it broke through, then set itself up from there. Let's take this line, we'll move it over. As a bit of an ascending triangle. See, it did have a top at 13.5, would be your triangle, the breakout point you'd be looking for. As it traded, it set up a more definitive resistance at that 1318. See, it dipped a little bit, but then broke out of it again. Started seeing some buying. You'll see that the volume picked back up right through here. Pushing 2 million shares from down around, doubled from down around 1 million shares up to 2 million shares as it pushed forward again to end the day, and it closed strong, high of the day with a considerable amount of shares. This is probably 3.5 million shares right towards the end of the day in the last 15 minutes. This is really kind of into a bit of a blue sky breakout because there's nothing really in front of it as far as resistance goes, but it just broke through it, so it's not like it shot out of it. It's great that it moved above the resistance at 14.2, and it's great that it did it with volume. So it might be indicative that this is going to try and push hard and fast again tomorrow morning or this morning, and see what this is going to do. Things to keep an eye on. When it made all its moves, and this, from 6 cents up to 14 cents, obviously, 250% gains. It's been a great mover. The only thing to keep an eye on at this point is we can see that the trend is actually still up, and we're seeing things like the RSI. They have to reset. So now we want to pay attention and see if this peaks, and if this is given any indication that it's reaching a high point, because this is a negative divergence. So we want to keep an eye on that. But they have to reset. This could just be resetting. The other indicators are in some of the same fashion, where they're starting to get a sideways trend to them, which you can see even though this actually trended up from a bottom of around 11 cents up to 14 cents, it's a bit of a sideways pattern with a slight uptrend. We're seeing a sideways pattern with the MACD. We're seeing the histogram actually trending towards 0 right now. So we're going to look for this to break and see if this chart was just resetting itself and it's indeed going to go into a blue sky breakout from this point. ADX is in a fine position. Like to see it holding over 30. Positive DI moving up. Negative DI actually turning back down. That's a great position. This is very nice to see it. The accumulation distribution is still trending up the whole time. See, it took off there at the end with buying pressure. That's good volume to end the day. That's a good sign of what can come this morning. Plus, this chart's going to have pretty much run under the radar of people, other than people are looking for volume explosions, because this was basically a non-existent trader, and all of a sudden it took off yesterday. So this is going to catch some people's eyes with the big move. See, it ended up being up 45%. MFIs are also still in a good position. Just now breaking through 80. We're getting a hint of them flattening back out, though. That's what you got to keep an eye on. Chaikin money flow, of course, is just showing that money's still pouring back into it. CCI still in a fine position. Full stow, this is kind of what you'd expect with a nice move. Tricks in a little bit of a downtrend, but giving a hint of a turn. So what this really means is right now we want to see this hold this level, set this up. We'd like to see a push to start the day, and then if it wants to pull back, hold this 14.2 area as a solid support level, and then continue to climb north. If it does want to pull back some, you're going to want to see this 13.7. See, it leads back to here, 13.5 through 13.7. So it's nice to have a fat line with this as a pretty good support level. I'd like to see one of these two support levels hold, primarily the 14.2, put it into a blue sky breakout. If it wants to slip back down, we want to see it hold 13.7. The sky's the limit as far as moving to the north side, but we do know from the daily charts it's going to see some resistance at 20. That will be the next, going back to the daily charts, the next resistance level that we'll see. Obviously still good gains, but as far as being into a blue sky on the short term, we're going to see 20 as the next major resistance level. So we want to see it hold there and there are the two big areas we want to see HELI hold. Worst case scenario, further dip down to here, 12.5. We'd want to see it hold that. If it wants to go down to 11, I'd be a little bit leery. I don't think it will, but I'm not positive either. Nothing's predictable in that sense. What you look for is evening out your odds. What other traders will look at for buy points, and that should be a good support level. If it dips, that traders should try and hop back in on it. Charts will be reset from that point and let this thing move forward. All right, this is Andy taking a look at HELI. Have a great day.